Wrestling fans, promoters, wrestlers, and anyone who enjoys pro wrestling now have something new to be excited about. The Wrestling Fans International Association, the WFIA, is back. WFIA is an association that exists to promote, grow, and support professional wrestling throughout the world. Membership is free. Your membership includes a free digital bi-monthly publication of the Wrestling Fan News newsletter, association updates, voting privileges, and much more. Please go to thewfia.org, that's THEWFIA.org, and become a member today.
Welcome, everybody. This is the PWZ podcast, and we are welcoming a very special guest this week, the GM, Alex Rojas. How are you, sir?
I'm good, Rick. How you doing? Thanks for having me, Harry. How you doing?
Hello,
I feel like we talked about doing this years ago, and we haven't.
We definitely did. I was talking about that earlier. It's about time it's finally happening.
Yeah, man. And not a better time than now, with a couple big shows down the pike for you, the GMX.
For us, bro, we got we've been in 2023's ass, me and you,
Yo, brother, I'm only trying to be on the same level as you. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
it's a hard level to get to.
Nah, we do it together, man. It's a beautiful thing,
Yeah, man. I'm like extremely excited that we actually have a couple shows that we're gonna be working on together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually super excited. So we're gonna talk about that in a few. For our fans who may have not known you from other things, introduce yourself. Let everybody know what you're about, what you do.
Well, my name is Alex Rojas. I am the general manager of the Bell Time Club, the general manager of Test of Strength Wrestling, and I am the owner and founder of Legacy is Timeless Pro Wrestling, as well as the owner and founder of HeelShit Apparel, and HeelShit Design, right? I make merch for the best talent in the Northeast.
Yeah,
hands down. You guys can argue it, but I don't see it. I don't see it. There's nothing to argue there. So,
I actually have a few of your shirts in my closet.
You have more of my shirts than I do, I think.
Listen, we gotta support each other. You feel me?
Right.
One of my favorite shirts that I actually have in my closet, I haven't worn it since that day, is El Campeón de Manchester. That is by far.
That was a classic one. Yeah, that was a great shirt.
I remember.
Shout out to the magnificent Marcos.
Yo, two of the best. Frosty still gives me dirty looks at that shirt. Shirt's great.
Oh man, no, that was a moment, wasn't it? That was a good time.
It was, man.
So that's pretty much who I am in a nutshell. I help train and shape the minds of the future of wrestling at Test of Strength and at the Bell Time Club, and I get to tell amazing stories with my friends and family, and be part of the business that has people like you and Rick in it, and doing amazing things and supporting each other, man. So this is it's a lot to take in, but it's a lot of who I am. You know what I mean? Like pro wrestling and being a dad. That's me.
Yeah. Two of the best things. Rick knows a little bit of something about that. Of course, I know something about that. It's tough, being a father and a promoter, booker, announcer, whatever you want to call it, podcaster, especially when you're running around and stuff. It's hard, but especially for Alex, because your skin is like just as intertwined as you are.
Yeah, my son can wear every single hat that I wear. Peter's an amazing kid. He's a DJ, artist, stuff writer, even an interviewer when need be, investigative reporting. He's our stats guy. Jeter's the one you can ask Jeter You call him right now and ask him how long Ichiban has held that title, and he'll tell you to the day,
Yeah, and that's awesome. That's awesome. Like, I don't want to my own stats, but like his stat knowledge for even take me back. Like, where'd you pull that from? What do you like? He told me something about Nick the other day. And I'm like, the hell?
Well, wrestling to us, is very important. It's a spiritual thing. I always tell everybody we get our wrestling from the root. It went from Luthez to Kowalski to us. It wasn't. There was no side trips there. There was no carny shit involved. Like, these are the guys that invented and perfected this game, and we got that knowledge, straight from the vine. So I think that's why when you see guys that are trained by Kowalski guys, their work is so much more advanced than everybody else's. You see a guy like Alec Price, for his time in the game. This kid is one of the most amazing talents I've ever seen, and on any given night, he's the best in the world. Hell of a talent. World-class Channing Thomas, another heavy hitter, monster performer. The Moonlight Sun, Mike Skyros. Like, it's just the legacy is deep, and these guys do amazing work. You got Blue Thunder, Jay Freddy, guys that are just tearing the scene up. Yeah. The king of the Emerald brand.
Yeah, absolutely. Muda American protege.
Yes.
Like,
he's a Kowalski Muto hybrid.
Yeah, absolutely. Jay Freddy is one of those unsung heroes of the Indies.
Yeah.
He's a bit of everything. Never given the opportunity to be main guy in a major function, and that's unfortunate. But for those on the inside who we know what he can bring to the team.
Yeah. No, I've been I've been singing Freddie's praises for years. I've always talked about how talented he is. We talk about Test of Strength, in our very first road show outside event was Fight for Your Dreams in Northampton, Massachusetts, and Jay Freddy and Thomas Santel put on what I put on what I call the greatest wrestling match I've ever seen. It's one of those, and I'm not saying this because they're my friends or because we did it at my company and we did it on our show, but it was one of the greatest wrestling moments of all time. If you love catch can wrestling, then that's a match that you have to go and watch. I mean, that was on the level of Brett and Sean and Dean and Benoit. These guys wrestled their asses off. Eddie Edwards and Davey Richards. That type of level of intensity. And
Eddie came up around Davey Richards.
Well, Eddie Edwards is the Kowalski guy, trained by Slick Wagner Brown himself.
There you go. There's that connection.
Yeah.
To tell someone else who's been a mainstay that you didn't name, we'll talk Ichiban.
Okay.
Another one, Ichiban, just announced his big MLW. That dude has a rocket strapped to his back and is on his way to the moon. And a lot of the stuff comes from.
Here's the thing about the rocket that's strapped on Ichiban's back, right? There's not a. It's not a hype.
No.
This kid has worked his ass off to get to where he is, and I don't think I've ever seen anyone work harder. Everybody was home crying, licking their wounds during the pandemic, and he was in there training his ass off like there was no tomorrow. So to see the success of Ichiban, to me, is not a surprise at all. It's something that I knew from day one. I saw this day one, and I love saying the "I told you so" to everyone. This MLW deal is big. It's an amazing thing, but it's just part of a bigger puzzle. I mean, it's gonna get. I tell the guys all the time. My job as a trainer, coach, promoter, whatever you want to call me, is to make it so that I can't ever book you guys again. I don't ever want to see you again. I want to get to that point, you know. And that's what me and Wagner do this for, you know. Do we want to put on the best wrestling shows that we can? Heck yeah, and I think we do. You know, I think, you know, toot my own horn and you know, patting ourselves on the back. I don't think that there's a pro wrestling product out there that really is better than ours. You know, I know you're supposed to feel like that about everything, but I feel that what we offer to the scene is so much different than everybody else. I mean, you know, everybody else tries to copy it now, of course, but um, our fan base is organic. Our fan base is a family. You know, you see a lot of the same faces at all the Test the Strength shows. We're not at the same locations. You know, I have people that come up from New Jersey to Massachusetts when we do a show, and that's no streaming TV deal. That's no big money marketing behind us. That's just a grassroots movement and a love for pro wrestling that, you know, does that for us. And Ichiban has been the face of that for the last 2 years or so, and he's stepped it up.
You brought up Catch Cannon and like the style of wrestling, Davey Richards, Edwards, so on and so forth. The match that instantly comes to my head. I was there live, and it was Low Key versus Ichiban.
I'm sorry, it was who?
Low Key versus Ichiban.
Oh, Low Key versus each Fight for Your Dreams 4. Yeah.
Yes. And as a person who's grown up listening to, watching Ring of Honor and stuff like that, you've heard the story, we've talked about it. But seeing that match live and getting to see it with my son and friends and just that whole atmosphere that night, I can say with a company that I have of my own, that was probably one of the best shows I've been to live.
Well, thank you for saying that. I mean, I feel that way too. I thought all our guys were you know, on fire that night.
Yeah. Oh, literally.
Yeah, literally. You know, fire department showed up because of a smoke machine. You know, but yeah, no, it was an amazing show.
Yeah.
It was in a very difficult town to run in.
Yes.
And we got no help from the venue promoting it. You know, it was all us, and we sold the building out. A hell of a match. Low Key gave us amazing work. Low Key's a good brother. You know, aside from wrestling, period, Low Key's a very, very good human being. He's helped me a lot personally with the things that I've been going through in life. So a lot of respect for Low Key.
Going back to the show, it reminded me, and the reason why it's one of the best shows I've seen live is because it reminded me of those early days in Ring of Honor.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. You know, it's funny that you said that because Low Key said in the back, he's like, "Wow, I feel like we're back at the Murphy Rec."
Yes, yeah, exactly.
You know?
And, you know, I remember when you guys announced it, and again, BST aside, our friendship aside, I love the business. I love everything that is wrestling, and if something catches my attention, I'm going to be really excited for it. He was the first Ring of Honor that I really fell in love with.
Right.
His style, hard hitting, reminded me of like he had like this aspect of Luda, but then hard hitting of Chono, all mixed into one little package of like dynamite.
Oh, he'll love that analogy.
And seeing him against somebody like Ichiban who was tearing it up, you know, and I think that match like elevated him to another level, like an upper echelon of independent performer in this day and age.
Right.
Because now we're getting a shot at Loki. We all been at the Glory show. He wrestles there often.
Right.
It takes something special to bring him out, and I think Ichiban did tonight.
Yeah, and here's the beauty of being Low Key, right? You don't have to work anybody you don't respect.
Exactly.
You know, and for him to come and you know, put that performance on for us was a big thing. You know, him and Wagner go back a long time. You know, me and him met years ago as well. We had a conversation about it. And he said, let me get back to you, is what he said. He looked up Ichiban. He called me back the next day. He said, yeah, I want to wrestle that kid. You know, so it's a beautiful thing when you see the guys that laid the foundation down. You know, because so much of pro wrestling today is everybody trying to be low key and the Amazing Red from 2002, 2003. You know what I mean? It's everybody trying to have that Matrix Minute moment again, and the reason that was so big and everlasting with them is because it was an organic thing. It wasn't forced. When you try to force it, that's when it goes wrong. You know what I mean? So for Ichi to see low key, you know, somebody that he respects and admired and saw into the game, it was almost a passing of the torch type of match. It was definitely a seal of approval, from the wrestling gods, right? And I think that when you see it again, because it's going to happen again, you're going to see what they really can do. Because the first match between two combatants is pretty much a chess game, right? You're testing each other out. Now that they know each other's strengths and weaknesses, and now that they know firsthand what their weaponry feels like, I think the next time these two guys touch, it's going to be magic.
Lightning.
Yeah, and it was magic the first time.
Oh yeah, no, even so, for those who haven't seen it, and you know, a lot of things with streaming nowadays, attention span. I don't want to assume anybody's going to go and see it. They should.
You should. Loki versus Ichiban Fight for Your Dreams 4. It's at TOS Wrestling 1 on YouTube. Go check it out. An amazing pro wrestling contest.
You know, who probably won't. I'll just say this: at being the way it ended, I think, if anything for me, more beautiful than to actually have it go for another.
Right.
Because for me, it means it's just another one. And I can't fucking wait till the day that happens. I will, like for this, I'll be texting him like, here's my money. Let me know what's happening.
Right.
You know, you guys have me on like banger shit. Great talent. For the I've been in the room for maybe 4 years, and the last 3, I think I've been to almost a good 70% of your shows.
Oh yeah, you're almost at every show. Yeah.
I try to be at least.
I see you. And I try to go to all of yours too.
Oh yeah. Listen, we know. We have that understanding. We don't gotta, but like every time I leave out of there, I go into my car and I normally have some type of guest with me or whatever, and we come back and we're like, that was a good show. Every time, I don't think I've ever gotten in the car and go, show sucked. You know, and I've done that for other people and other companies. Even
I hate to say that. I've been to a couple where I was like, why am I here? But
yeah, and not, you know, I'm not gonna put them out there, you know, let them whatever. But
you know what? I don't want to highlight those guys. I want to highlight the guys that put on a good card, man. You guys do a great job over there.
Thank you. Like we're trying, you know.
Big fan of your shows. Big fan of Lucas Chase. You know, you guys do great work over there. You know, Hammer Tunis at PvP. I say it all the time. Hammer's one of the best storytellers in the business. You know, he is really, really good at making you care about an angle. You know, and he's sick in the ring. I mean, the closers are a problem. You know, and now even this new iteration with Jordan Rowe is crazy. You know, so. Yeah. So Jordan and Bacon and Hammer, man, like the fact that when you see those guys, you see the closers, you don't know what combination of the 3 you get. It works no matter what. Those guys, they're just so good, you know.
Rick, you want to add anything here?
I'm listening for now. You guys are good. I'm enjoying this conversation. So.
All right. I do got to see more of Hammer. I've read and seen little things what's in there. That's somebody who's on the radar as far as like somebody who needs to go out of my way to go survive. Because for me, I can watch anybody on TV and you won't necessarily see the things you're in.
You're cutting off on me, Harry. I can't really hear you. Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Let me
Is
see.
it just me, Rick? Can you hear him? Because Harry's cutting off on me, but I don't know if that's
Yeah, he cut off.
Let me see now.
He cut off. There he is.
That better?
yeah. So far,
So
I don't know.
again,
Yep. So far,
Hammer is one of those guys that I want to see live. I don't want to see on TV because you'll miss things.
right.
You'll miss little things that will enhance their character more as you would see like on because of camera cuts and all that stuff.
Right.
But he's definitely on the short list of guys I want to see. You made mention to a few people, Channing Thomas, Jay Freddy. Let's talk a little Alec Price here.
The Prize City OG,
Alec Price,
beast,
um,
the killer.
if anyone knows like what I've been into lately as far as independent wrestling, Alec Price is like number one on that list behind like maybe Ichiban.
Yeah,
And
those two guys take turns being my favorite wrestler. You know.
yeah, it's it's definitely like this, and like every time I see Alex, I remember the first time I saw Alex, and I go, and I just looked at him, and this is a on me thing. It didn't catch me immediately. Like he came out and everybody was hyped, and I hadn't known much about him at that time.
Right.
And then he went on and had this really quick banger of a match. I don't even remember against who it was. It was at an open, and I went, "Oh, this guy's good."
Yeah. Alec is special, man. Alec is a different breed, I mean, now he's growing up. He's starting to fill out a little bit. I've known Alec for years, and he was this skinny kid, that just loved to run his mouth. And but I listened to him because he was super smart about the business, right? And then he went out there and he just put the work in.
Yeah.
He was the king of the Bell Time Club, and he was in there with Channing Thomas and Benny Jukes, and he was getting his licks in, and he was doing what he had to do. And they say steel sharpens steel.
Yes.
And he just got better and better and smarter and faster and stronger. And now I feel like he's finally found the total package that is Alec Price. Like he's finally stepping into those boots. And every time he goes out there, man, it's a banger with no matter who you put him in there with.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter who that man in the ring with he's having.
Not for nothing, you were with me at the GCW show in Hartford not too long ago.
Yes, the opening contest.
Opening contest.
And
not
against
nothing, but the biggest pops of the night were for our guys. It was for Flash and Alec Price. People lost their mind for
another one.
And they put on a banger too.
Heck yeah. You said it. We were both there in attendance. You met my brother that night. That was my brother's first time seeing Dustin Waller.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, and my brother and me go back and forth on our love for wrestling. He kind of like phased out a little bit. He used to go to like Beyond shows regularly.
Right.
And he kind of, he started his family, he fell out a little bit. So that was like his first show back into the indies.
Okay.
So seeing guys like that, and then seeing, because we talked and I was like, oh, he wrestles for him and he's wrestling for us and, whatever. And he kind of like, he stood back like this and he goes, wait, he wrestles for both of you guys? I was like, yeah, he wrestles for us. And it's like, holy shit, I got to go out to these shows more often.
Yeah.
And I was talking to him today. I'm trying to get him to do the double shot, us on the 15th, you guys on the 16th.
Right.
Because his birthday is like the week after. It's like, don't worry about it. I'll take care of you. Whatever. I'll pay for your ticket, whatever.
Your shows. Like we got a fun weekend.
Yeah, dude. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Wait till you see the things that we're gonna announce. Because I know you'll be like, okay. I think you'll be proud.
Good.
But yeah, like just being there and Dustin Waller specifically because he was a hometown guy, a home state guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's wrestling in his home, and when that music hit, everybody knew who he was.
Yes.
And that's another guy. He's been in BST since day one.
Day one.
Day one. say this jokingly, and he knows I love him for it. Red bell-bottom pants and a crop top. That was how I met Dustin Flash Waller.
That's
And
right.
to see his progression right to the top,
Yeah.
you know, these are all guys that have come through your
You're
home.
telling me your brother never seen Flash in person, considering how much of BST Flash has been involved in. You know how many big moments. I mean,
Well,
him, Jim.
You know, not to get too personal, me and my brother have like a lot of love for each other, but we're also like our families are like our main goals here.
I get it.
And he hasn't, like, again, he was out of wrestling for a bit, and he's planning on coming to the 15 show, like I said, but he hadn't really been to any shows of mine prior to the 2 Road show.
Okay.
He showed up even late to that, and he was like, holy shit, this was awesome.
Yeah.
You know, like that, if anything, a lot more than even some of the fans that tell me the shows are great. Like, you know, him back and
Family will tell you it's trash.
What happened?
People that love you will really tell you if it's trash.
Yeah, exactly. And he walked out of there. He was like, "Dude, this was awesome."
Yeah.
And I took that like, it's like, damn,
Yeah, I was supposed to be at that show, man. I'm sorry I couldn't make it.
Right.
I wasn't
Bro,
that great.
Not to get too personal again, but like we know what you're going through, and you know, I will never hold that against.
Well, no, but I had spoken to Mike Skyros like 2 days before, like, bro, I'm coming down. I wanted to see that. You know, I'm a big fan of Lucas.
Yeah.
You know, and Mike is my guy, and to see my boys go out there and bang out, I knew they were gonna go crazy. You know? And they did.
2 of the best. You know, Skyros is another one, man. That dude is incredible. In fact, he's not out here more often than maybe like you or with Grind now that he's like their now grand champion.
He's got a real heavy gear bag, man. He is the Pro Wrestling Grind grand champion. He is the Excite Wrestling heavyweight champion. He is the high tension wrestling champion. You know, Skyros.
Hey,
he's just the guy that you can trust to be good for business, you know?
Absolutely. You know,
he's one of those guys,
and
I think he's one of the best that's in the circuit now, right now, out there in the independent.
I think
ever since the first time I've seen him, he's one of those guys that kind of remind me of like a Dynamite Kid or Bryan Danielson or something to that effect, but another level, a modern era.
Shawn Michaels of his generation.
Okay.
I can see it.
You know, I
can see it.
I think he's got that type of charisma. I think he's got that type of work ethic. I think he's got that look, you know, that it factor. I think Skyros is the Shawn Michaels of his generation.
He can work, he can talk, and he has a look that's marketable. What more do you want in a professional wrestler than Mike Skyros? Also, you know, on top of the championship accolades that he has, he just went over one of the bigger stars in indie wrestling right now in Matt Cardona.
Right.
And not everyone is getting wins over Matt Cardona.
No, they're few and far between.
You said it. So that just goes to show you how big star Mike Skyros is. I can't wait for the day he gets to put that on like national TV.
Yeah, and it's coming sooner than later. You know, he's another one of those guys. You know, there's I say it all the time. I got a roster full of killers. You know, and I'm spoiled to have that. But there's a good chance that a year from now that roster is diminished. You know, and if that's the case, man, I'm all about it. I'm all about it. You know.
Same. Like
I think I got a good drop coming up anyway.
What you want to do is you want to see your guy succeed.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, like for you and me specifically, like we run a lot of the same gentlemen and females in our rosters. A lot of the same guys that wrestle for BST have wrestled for Test of Strength. I told Flash this about 2 years ago. I'm mad it hasn't happened yet. But I told him, and he can quote me. I said, in a year, it's going to be really hard to book you 3 because of how big you guys are going to get. And he looked at me and goes, I don't think so. And if I'm being honest, and because how busy they've become, it's becoming increasingly harder to get on our cards. And again, we hold anger or bitterness towards it. Get your fucking money and go.
Go do it.
Excuse my language. But like, we're all for the growth of the business.
Listen, man, I cannot wait to see Flash and Kai on my TV at the Garden.
Yep.
Or on my computer screen at Kurikan Hall.
Yep.
You know, like I want to see that.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for it to happen. And it's gonna happen. You know, it's
Absolutely.
you know, I say this to them and they're so humble that you're crazy, GM. I'm like, listen, man, when you get over there, I want my Ribera jacket. All right. Send me my fucking jacket.
All we want.
That's what I want. Send me my jacket. You know, but those guys are gonna be there, all the Miracle Ones, you know, Flash, Ichi. Alex got a trip in Japan, it's coming no time, you know. Channing Thomas is gonna hold every world title that's ever existed.
That dude is special.
Yes.
And he's a special.
Yes.
Because he's very old school in his style, how he presents himself. The world-class moniker is not just a moniker. No. It's who he is.
Yeah, and he loves and lives and breathes the business. You know, it's very, very high ring IQ. Channing Thomas, where, you know, if we're doing the analogy of Brett and Sean, right? Alec and Channing are the Bell Time Club's Brett and Sean. You know, where Alec would be Sean because he does all the extra super exciting stuff. And he cuts the crazy promo and he brings all that crazy energy. But then Channing is the guy that excellently executes, right?
Yes.
He's the ring general. And those guys, man, they're amazing talents, man. Yeah. I love the fact that, you know, I have to like talk to them a year in advance before I could get them on a card.
Yeah, I hear you. So let's switch topics real quick, and we'll now talk about your two big shows coming up.
Okay.
First, we'll talk about Fight for Your Dreams because that's a little further out, and then we're gonna get into the meat and bones of what we're really here for. Fight for Your Dreams is September 16th. And that is going to be where?
That is going to be in Waterbury, Connecticut.
Easy drive.
Yep, nice easy drive in Waterbury.
That's the Elks Lodge, right?
Yes. And the Underground King, Slick Wagner Brown, will be facing the Moonlight Sun, Mike Skyrose, for the Texas Review.
Speaking of Mike Skyrose, yeah, that man, it's been a natural progression from the K1 title to now challenging for the world title. You know, against SWB, and SWB being a legend in independent wrestling, especially in the Northeast. I think that's gonna tear down the house.
Yeah, that's gonna be insane. That's gonna be old school Smash Mouth, psychology. You know, those guys are gonna go out there and they're gonna wrestle. It's gonna be an amazing match, and it's just, you know, it all comes down to how Mike Skyrose can handle the intangible that is Jimmy Mees.
Oh, yes.
You know?
Yep.
But as far as him being able to go blow for blow, bar for bar with the Underground King, I have no doubt that Skyrose can pull this off.
Oh, I absolutely. I think it would. I'm just going to make a prediction, if you don't mind. I think this is the moment for Skyrose. I think this is Skyrose crowning himself as the top in the Northeast, especially when it comes to like a lot of these other promotions that don't get as much love as they should, like an Excite. And I think him becoming the champion will be a big moment. I can't wait to be there for that.
Yeah.
I'm actually going into your socials right now. Is the rest of the card put up here?
We have a lot of the card up. I mean, you know, things are still subject to change, but
okay. Do you want to run down the card from what you have so far?
Let's see. Let me Let me pull it up because I'm
Yep.
actually talking to you on my phone, so I don't have
No
it.
problem. I'll look it up myself.
But I do know that on top of Sky Rose and Wagner Brown, we're also going to we're going to crown the first ever Test of Strength women's champion that night.
Okay.
Which is a beautiful, beautiful belt that we created as a tribute to our friend and fellow Kowalski alumni, Joni Laurie, aka
The ninth wonder of the
world, China.
Yep.
So we called the tournament to crown the Test of Strength Women's Champion, the ninth wonder women's tournament, and the finals will be that night. So in Waterbury, Connecticut, you will see the crowning of the first ever Test of Strength Women's Champion.
I know that Karen Bam Bam has advanced to the finals. I watched, I want to say it was either this training there or the one before where she advanced.
She advanced at the our last roadshow at
Was it the roadshow? I thought it was the training day.
No, it was the roadshow. This was the
Oh, that's right, because she took on Ariel Nix.
And yeah,
that's right. All right, yep, that was at the last Waterbury show.
That
is correct. So it's her versus the winner of Mimi versus De La Rosa. When is that going to happen?
Well, while I have you here, I might as well announce it now. The second semifinal match is going to happen August 25th at Legacy is Timeless Presents The Lituation, and it's going to be Miss Vicious and Malicious Evie De La Rosa versus the Notorious Mimi.
That's going to be an absolute banger. Those two are top-notch talent. You know my love for Evie De La Rosa. Mimi is another one who I'm looking to hopefully get in the BSB ring as early as next year.
Right.
But yeah, that's gonna be crazy. And the winner going against Karen Bam Bam at Fight for Your Dream.
And here's the thing, man. I get a lot of feedback from the fans, and they all tell me that this is gonna be a cakewalk for Bam Bam. That she was the Test of Strength champion. Why wouldn't she be the first ever Test of Strength Women's champion? And on paper, that sounds like a certainty. Yeah. But what people forget is that there's intangibles, there's styles make fights. There's things that might not necessarily be apparent when you look at it, but when you see it unfold, it makes sense, right? And and I believe that Mimi can get a win off of anyone. I think that she's fast enough and explosive enough that she can pull it out and get to this finals. But honestly, if I'm telling you what I personally believe, I don't believe that there's a female wrestler on the planet that can go toe to toe with Evie De La Rosa. Once the bell rings, she is a general. She is a monster. She is deceptively strong. She is very fast. She's got so much experience, so much experience, so smart in the ring. And I think she wants it more than anyone else.
I was looking at a picture that she had posted. I want to say it was either yesterday or this morning. And it really blew my mind about how long she's really been in the game. And
Mercedes?
Yeah. That picture was like, because, like Mercedes hasn't been Mercedes for a very long time.
Right. Well, she just got back to being Mercedes, I guess.
Yeah, but up until recently, she was somebody else.
That was that Mercedes in that picture was a very, very different Mercedes. It wasn't the polished future Hall of Famer that she is. That was a long time ago, and to see where both of these women have come up. Mercedes went on to become Sasha Banks, arguably the best in-ring talent, female talent in the history of the WWE.
Absolutely.
One of them for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And Evie, who has dominated the indie scene for the better part of the last 7 years. So it's one of those things that it doesn't surprise me because it's all about hard work and about how hard you want something. And they went out there and they did it, and then every time I see Evie, she has a new ab that I didn't know existed. She is a machine, man. She is a machine, and she's one of the
incredible
dedicated professional wrestlers that I've ever seen. So I don't count Evie out.
Never.
I'm not counting Mimi out either.
Nope.
But man, either way, however that goes, that's going to be an amazing final, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see CC crown the first ever That's the Strength Women's Championship. Belt.
Speaking of Evie, she was down in Puerto Rico recently.
Yes.
For arguably the biggest Puerto Rican wrestling company out there. It's a 1-2 either way you want to look at it, depending on the weekend. If it's not WWC, it's IWA. And IWA has had a stronghold on Puerto Rican wrestling for the better part of the last 15 plus years. So it was cool as a Puerto Rican to see, Evie down there, a person who's wrestled for, again, both of our companies, represent the both of us down there on the soil, for people like me and you, Alex, and Rick, hi, Rick, I take a lot of pride with that.
I get it, man. I get it. And Rick's been around long enough to know that what I'm about to say is true. Wrestling didn't really look like us for a long time. For a long time, it was a good old boys club, and I'm proud to say that I think that Wagner and I kind of changed that stigma over the years, and we've seen things, grow, and the type of talent that gets showcased now is based more on talent than it used to be.
Absolutely.
We got guys that you just can't deny. You got guys like the mighty Mantequilla.
Yeah, that's another one.
Amazing professional wrestler.
Amazing talent.
Yes. Yeah. Another ring general. You got guys like Desmond Cole, like the Big Boofa.
Big Boofa.
You got guys like Sammy Diaz.
Yes, top 5, dead or alive.
Dead or alive, Sammy Diaz. So to see it grow from the stereotypical things that we were forced to do and to be, to see us grow into much more complex entities and better professionals and have higher stakes on the card, is a big, beautiful thing to see. You got a guy like Carmelo Hayes right now, one of our kids from around the way, was at the very first training day ever, the Casanova himself, Melo, on NXT. By leaps and bounds, the best talent in
easily
brand.
Absolutely.
And I'm telling you, all these guys that I talk about, they're all that good.
Yeah,
they're all that good.
Like there's not been a person you've named so far where I can go even subjectively and go, they're not as good as you're saying. Like everybody you have said have, especially in 2023, have been on fire. Yeah,
I'm hard to impress. I'm brutally honest.
Yeah, absolutely. And if anything, that's one thing I love about you is how brutally honest you are. And after every show for BSD specifically, I'll come up straight to you. What you think? And you'll tell me how it is, and I'll be like, all right, cool, got it. And I'll, in my head, I'll know, okay, we'll start, okay, boom, 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 and I'll start piecing together.
Again, I try to be constructive,
of course.
If I don't like something, I will tell you why I don't like it.
Yeah.
I'm not just, that's fucking terrible. No, I mean, listen, everything I book isn't the greatest thing in the world either. It's not always going to, it could be amazing on paper. The chemistry could be off between the performers. The crowd has a big part of how a storyline goes over. There's certain things that is out of our hands once we create it, right? Yeah. But if we are honest with each other and teach each other how to overcome these things, then the business as a whole is better for everybody.
Absolutely.
But I'm not going to coddle anyone because they have an ego. No, I mean, you could be, Roddy Piper and have a stinker one day.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you from having the conversations with you, at no point have you come up to me disrespectfully. If anything, you've come up with love and intention to teach and it be constructive. We've had numerous talks after shows, and you'll be like, "This is why I didn't see this work," and I'll go, "Okay, I can see that. I'll look more into it," and then I'll watch it back, and I'll go, "This is what he meant. Okay, this is where okay, boom, boom, boom," and I'll start putting things together.
And that's a superpower, man, because a lot of people don't know how to accept criticism and learn from it. It's automatically hate, and I'm like, dude, like you just had a perfect show, but if you can fix this right here, it's going to take the product to the next level.
Absolutely.
Sometimes something that little will set people off. You know what I mean?
And I don't get that. Like, I told Rick this earlier. We had a conversation, and my goal at the end of this is to unify independent wrestling in a way where it's never been unified before.
Right.
I think me and you have talked about it as well. Like, we can all eat from the same table.
We can.
We can all share the turkey. We can all share the mashed potatoes. Why aren't we? And these next two shows that we're going to talk about are perfect examples of what I want to do with professional wrestling. And we're talking now about the Lituation. Your show on August 25th, the benefit show. Why don't you talk to me a little more about it, and we'll go back and forth about what you're trying to produce on that night.
So the Lituation came about from the boys, actually, pretty much. As you guys know, I'm in a fight with cancer, and I'm here smiling and laughing with you guys because I love y'all and I'm having a good time. But there's certain days where this is impossible, and things have been harder than normal for me. And because the boys love me, because I'm around and we talk, and they want to look out. So they said, well, you know what, we're going to throw you a benefit show, man. And what do you want to do on this show? What do you want? Basically, I just got to book a dream show, And I got to put together a card with some of my favorite performers on the planet, and be able to do something that a lot of people didn't get to do. We have 8, 9 promotions that we're working with. Yeah,
that's a lot.
Let's run them down. We got the Bell Time Club. We got Test of Strength Wrestling. We have Pioneer Valley Pro Wrestling. We got Pro Wrestling Grind. We got Fight Life. We have Remarkable Wrestling. We got BST. We got Kaiju Pro Wrestling. And somehow I feel like we got Tetsu Pro Wrestling.
Yes.
I feel like I'm missing one more.
But I'm looking it up now.
But look how amazing this lineup is of companies coming together.
Yeah.
Where in this business, and Rick, you've
Pro
been
Wrestling
around.
Grind is the other one, maybe. Yeah.
I thought I said Pro Wrestling Grind.
Maybe. Right.
But it's a 10-match show, and I have 6 title matches.
Yeah.
That's an amazing thing. 7 technically, because one of them is for 2 sets of belts.
Yeah.
But that's amazing. Like, Rick, how long have you been around, and how long in all those years have you seen a company say, okay, you can defend my tag team titles on your show?
That does not happen often at all.
It's very rare, and the guys at Remarkable are incredibly gracious to let us have that. But it also shows you the faith that they have in their tag team champions, right?
Absolutely.
You have you got Flash and Kylon, the Miracle Generation, who are also the Test of Strength tag team champions. And these guys are so badass. They say, GM, not only are we going to show up and we're going to steal the show, we're going to go crazy at your show, but we're going to put it all on the line.
against two of the hottest young wrestlers. I believe they're. Is both of them out of your dojo, or is just Mark out of your dojo? So they're both out of your dojo, which your dojo produces champions. So and I got to see Nolan Peters at the last Fight Life in Milldale, and man, that kid is good.
He's good, man. He's good. You know what's crazy is that he doesn't even know how good he is yet.
We'll talk a little more about that after this, because I got a funny story for you about that.
But he's incredibly humble, incredibly hungry, and him and Mark have this insane chemistry together.
So,
fire in the sky. You got to remember that, Rick. Fire in the sky. Those guys are going to be the new Midnight Express.
I can see it.
You had to do that. You had to make that reference.
I had to do it.
So, I'm going down this part.
Mark Alexander is one of those guys that he's a phenomenal young talent, and it's just I think that he has the potential to go so much further. Oh, yeah. He's going to be an amazing talent. I have a feeling that in the next year he's going to explode, similar to maybe Ichiban.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because Ichiban and him were married at the hip during the pandemic. They were in the dojo every day, not once a week, every day they spent it in the dojo, just having banger after banger after banger. And because they're both so dedicated and they work so hard, man, they just made each other better, and coming out of the pandemic, I don't think there was anything hotter than Ichiban, the essential Ichiban, and Mark was right on his heels. If you go back and watch the matches that he had for Test of Strength since his debut, he gave me 0 duds. Everything was a banger.
Oh, dude, just go back to the 5 June 4 with Red Sawyer.
Yeah.
And that's another one of your deal as dojo guy that he's a whole different character.
Yes.
And not anything that you normally used to.
The thing with Red Sawyers, I don't know where the character begins
and where it ends.
Right. I don't know if there's another person. He is insane. But he's another intelligent, very crafty, old school style wrestler. I feel like Rick is gonna really end up being a good fan of Red Sawyer because he likes that old school Southern style.
I do enjoy him quite a bit. I've had the chance to see him numerous times. I know his promotion shouldn't be mentioned, but that last Tough and Talented show, him and Ichiban went all over the building, and that was something else. That Red is Red is
not the first time they've touched.
Very old school. No, I know. You told me that last time.
Yeah. So, I got to see when it was supposed to be Ichiban Davey Richards, and Richards couldn't make it for whatever reason, and Red Sawyer got thrown in there.
He got COVID.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense now. And I remember, I got in there and I was really hyped up for Ichiban Davey. I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be great." And then you guys announced it, and I had not seen Red Sawyer at all.
Right.
So I was like, "Oh, it's probably not going to be as good, whatever." Immature mind thoughts.
Right.
And then they go on to have, I want to say it was 10 to 15 minute banger.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, I fuck with Red. That was great.
That was insane. Davey Richards is Davey Richards, former Ring of Honor World Champion.
Yes.
He was on his hot run with MLW at the time. Yep. So people wanted to see him, but once people saw Ichiban versus Red, they were not. I didn't get a single complaint. No one asked for their money back. It was really good show, and everybody went. And it's one of my favorite matches of all time. Not just one of my matches, that we put together. But it's one of my favorite matches of all time because of the finish. It was such a different finish. It was so outside the norm of what pro wrestling has become. Rick, if you can go back and watch this, I don't want to spoil it for you. But it was a great throwback, real fight feel finish. Yeah. And I think you would really enjoy that, honestly.
Go back. Listen, I will second to go back and watch that.
Yeah. Matter of fact,
Okay.
when we wrap up here, I'm gonna send you the link. I want you to watch it.
I will definitely sit down and watch it.
So
Awesome.
going back to the lituation,
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna run down the whole card because this whole card is just it's you going okay. Fire, 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 fire. You're Mario with the fire flower. You're just throwing fireballs everywhere. We'll start off with the Northeast Beast, Alec Price versus the Kokujin Katana Ichiban. Did I pronounce that correctly?
The Kokujin Katana, yes.
Okay.
The black
And
lady.
that's worth the money of admission alone.
Yes.
If you're anywhere in Connecticut and you're not at this show, that's disappointing. Like, shame on you. Anybody that's running in Connecticut, any promoter, any talent, if you're not there for this show, shame on you. Obviously, if you have legitimate reasons, that's understandable. But if you're not doing nothing that night, if you're not working, get your ass to this show.
It's a $15 ticket. I'm guarantee you it's going to be
$15?
You know,
I'm telling you right now,
the event of Ichiban and Alec Price.
This is going to be fire. This whole show, and it's unfortunately, as I texted Alex earlier.
Yeah, you broke my heart earlier, Rick.
My daughter's I know, man. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that that's the same date as my daughter's wedding.
That's why as a father, I can't say nothing, man. That's the most important place that you need. And you got to not only hope and pray that one day I get to say, Harry, I can't come to your show because my little girl's getting married.
No, listen, if you sent me that text, I'm literally going to be like, it's probably okay. I got to take care of my daughter anyway. Like, I get it.
I'm glad that you're not going to be there, Rick, because you're my friend and I love the energy you bring to the shows. And I want to share these moments with you. But trust me.
I was hyped. I'm telling you, I was hyped up to go. And once my wife reminded me that was the date, I was like, oh, hell. Because, but I want people, there is this is a benefit.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
So I'm going to put the information in the description of this episode. I really want people to go click the link. I want people to show up, donate like crazy, because you're going to be helping out a very good person here, somebody that contributes a lot to professional wrestling in the northeastern part of the United States, New England, actually the world of professional wrestling. Let me change that. I want people to show up at the show. I'm not going to be able to be very upset. So
I'll be there. I'll be there in spirit for you. I'll take care of that.
We're going to turn up.
Oh, yeah. I'm bringing my nephew with me. My nephew's like, we going, Theo? I was like, you coming with me? I got you.
Kids under 12 are free. Bring all the nephews.
Yo, I'm trying.
I'm trying. Bring all the kids. Honestly, that's my, people always ask me why wrestling, right? Like, why? And it's because, there's nothing better. And Harry, you know it. There's nothing better than seeing that little kid who's never been to a wrestling show before having the time of his life.
Yeah.
There's nothing like that. I'll never forget. You're talking about the low-key Ichiban match at Northampton. There's a little boy in the crowd. First wrestling match he ever saw. The first wrestling show he ever went to. And when he saw Ichiban, he lit up like he just saw Spider-Man. You know what I mean? It's so important to see someone that looks like you doing something positive.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I say that all the time. And whether Ichiban realizes it or not, he has that weight of the world on his shoulders because these little kids that look like him need him. When he does the finger poke thing and and the kids touch and the electricity sparks and you got to see it every time they light up, man. It's like
I see it.
It's
I see it literally every time. Numerous occasions and Alex, this Ichiban is my son's favorite wrestler. My 7-year-old's favorite wrestler.
He's my son's favorite.
There's the picture that Alex actually took on my phone from Waterbury last summer. Me, my son, and Ichiban. And my son was so excited. And at the BST show, my son went right up to him and fist bumped Ichiban, and he was so good to my son, I tell you.
That's awesome. Isn't that beautiful, man?
Give me a second. I'm going to grab something from my son's room.
Go ahead. Go do what you got to
I'm
do.
gonna grab something from my son's room that actually has a lot to do with you and my first test of strength show.
Okay.
Give me 1 second.
All right. But yeah, Ichiban is he does so much with the kids, man, and they eat that up. And that's his favorite drug, man. He gets so excited. You know, he loves it. He loves seeing the little kids with the masks on, with the foam fingers, the t-shirt, all of that. It's just it's become bigger than him.
I think my son's got 3 Ichiban shirts now that I purchased for him. So right off the website and live. So he wears them all the time. And of course, if we're going to one of the shows, I'm telling you, man, you are doing amazing work over there. Ichiban's doing amazing work, and the fact that he's now in MLW, it warms my heart to see him come from. I remember during the pandemic watching him in Northeast Wrestling. Remember they did the studio show? It squashed, and I was like amazed. Jeez, what the hell are they doing to him? Now he's on national television with MLW.
Right. No, and it's just the beginning. I mean, he's the first ever wrestling open champion. Wrestling, is a brand that grew from beyond wrestling over there.
A great brand at that.
Yeah, great brand. And Alec Price and Ichiban and Kylon King and Flash Waller and Big Bacon Brad Hollister, they Channing Thomas, they built that from scratch. They made Thursday nights in Worcester, Massachusetts, a church service. You got to go to see the boys work, at the Whiting. So that's awesome, man.
I've been up there 2 times for Wrestling Open and American Rana last year. I gotta tell you, there's nothing. There's just something special about that building. I wish I could go up there every Thursday.
They have a great crowd, and then they put on amazing matches.
You're talking about Beyond here?
Yeah.
They put quick 10-minute bangers that are always like, and even with the short amount of time, the amount of stories that they progress, they're the top in the Indies for a reason.
Right.
Now, going back to you and what I was going to show you, Encore More. Okay, this is the first time I'm going to a Test and Strength show, and that was in East Hampton at the Pulaski Club.
Yes.
Okay, so it was Ichiban versus Encore, and this is like the first show me and Ezra have gone to together, father and son, since the pandemic started.
I'm pretty sure that was the first time we had Encore on the card too.
So, Encore comes out, he does his thing, dancing, jiving. He walks up to Ezra and hands him this. And I remember Ezra's like legitimate reaction.
Encore's a great guy, man.
It's like, and he puts it on, whatever. And I remember just having like just that heart, that going back to that moment with Ichiban. And there's another thing here I'm going to show you in a minute. That reaction.
Right.
He chose me. Oh my God, this is great. We wore this for like the whole winter. Like he would wear it, whatever, kept it moving. That Loki show. He goes, Dad, I need you to break the wallet open. And I'm like, what do you want? I need a map. And here we are. He likes blue. That's why he chose this variant. But like,
no, that's such a cool. I love that colorway.
Yeah,
not one you see all the time.
Nope.
So that was really cool. Ichiban's got some pretty.
And Ezra's been to all of my shows, and I'll say this, even with being the guy who produces a lot of that stuff, I haven't seen the reaction at our shows as I've seen for those 2 moments at your show. And that just goes to the type of show that you guys put on. I think with our shows, it's more like, okay, Daddy has another show. Like, it's like the norm.
Right.
But when he goes to yours, it's almost like if he kind of like sets himself away from, okay, this is daddy's kind of thing too, but like he knows that it's not mine.
Right.
And he enjoys it more because I'm not working.
Right. He gets to share that with you.
Bingo.
You know? Where with me it's beautiful because Jeter gets to work with me.
Yes.
Jeter's a big part of every Test of Strength show.
Yep.
He does a lot so that I could do more.
Yep.
He took a lot of the burden off of me. I used to do everything, but he handles the production side of things so that I can focus on hosting, on administering, on agenting, doing those other things that need to be done throughout the course of the night. Because when I'm at a show, I'm everywhere. You see me everywhere. So a lot of the times I don't even get to enjoy the shows live as they happen. So me and Jeter will bond over the show later.
Yep.
We'll watch it at home.
And
sit there and we watch it and we'll go from there. And then it's funny because sometimes how I always close the show out.
Yep.
Every show, it's a tradition. I send everybody home.
Thank you for coming. This is impossible without you guys.
And I know it sounds cheesy.
No.
But it's honest and it's genuine every single time that I do it, because it is a pleasure for me to be there and to see my kids tell these stories and to see people react to them. That is the greatest high in the world to me.
Yeah.
So I go out there and I cut a promo and I don't remember what I'm saying because it's not scripted. It's not anything I planned. It just comes out there and comes from the heart. And to go back and hear it, and my son being my son, he'll break my balls about it. Look at you all baby face, but it's a beautiful thing. We have that bond,
I'll go on record for praising Jeter because I've seen it. I've been, again, we talked already about how many shows I've been to for you guys for the last 3 years, but I see Jeter everywhere. You guys go to House of Glory, whatever, you have your table. Who's at the table with you? Jeter. When you guys do the dojo shows, oh my God,
training days.
There you go.
Yes.
Sorry, it's late. When you guys do the training days, who's doing the DJ work behind the wall? Jeter. I see Jeter everywhere you go. And I hope for me personally that Ezrin becomes like Jeter in that sense.
Yeah, and I see it happening, man. I mean,
I hope so.
You're a good dad, man. I think
Thank you.
The closness of a father and son tells you how good the father did.
If I'm being
it's the greatest love I've ever known. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. If I'm being blunt, my kids are the reason I do this.
Yeah.
Specifically my son. Now my daughter is gonna. It's cool. People understand this, Alex. As girl dad, you have. I don't know if you dealt with that with your daughter, Ray. But I've got to like. My daughter's 4. Beautiful. And I'll sit down and because we got to do it. And she's on my lap, and her attention is watching Raw.
Yeah.
And she's watching it with me. And Amanda took a shot of me, and I don't know if I'll ever post it, but she took a picture of me laying down with the baby watching wrestling. And it meant so much because I just want to have that relationship with kids.
I get it, man. My daughter, you don't see her so much anymore because she's so busy with other things that she does. But she used to be at every wrestling show with me. The boys nicknamed her Palomalu because she had the big curly hair.
Yep.
So they gave her that. They named her after Sean Palomalu, and that's her nickname at the dojo is Palomalu. But she used to come to every single show. But my daughter's a singer. She's an actress. She's a playwright. So she has a lot of different things that she does. She does voice acting. We have studios set up at home. So she's so busy and so enthralled in the world of entertainment that I don't want to take her away from her passions to be at mine. When she has the time, she comes and she hangs out and she has a good time. Because she does love it. She loves Evie, Dajae, Rosie. Those were her girls, and then the boys are her uncles. That's the way she looks at it. But Jeter has always been with me.
Yeah.
We've always done all this together. Like when kids were watching the Little Einsteins or whatever on TV, my son was watching Low Key versus the Amazing Red. My son was watching Steve Carino versus Dusty Rhodes. My son has always been a wrestling fan. He's something that we've always, wrestling and baseball has always been our thing. I mean, his name is Jeter. So knows that, right?
Yeah. Giveaway.
But as a baby, he would sit on my lap, and he was in September, and I'm talking about a month old. I'm watching the playoffs, and if the game was on, he wouldn't go to sleep. He wanted to be on my lap, and he wanted to be watching the game. And then after the game, he would go to bed. But it's just, we've always been together in that sense. Jeter's a lot like me, which is both a blessing and a curse.
I say the same thing.
But it's funny because you go to my house sometimes on a random night, and there's Otis Redding playing or Marvin Gaye or something, and you think it's me. No, it's Jeter, like making himself a chicken quesadilla.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
like I'm a big rock head. Like I listen to like Metallica and stuff like that. And I'll randomly just walk by Ezra's room and he's jamming out in his room playing on his PlayStation.
yeah.
Like stuff like that. I still remember the first time Ezra was involved for a wrestling match. Like full on. And it was on that day I kind of was like, oh shit, this kid is me in a little package.
Right.
And I've seen it from then on, like to now, like in his room and stuff, like his wrestling setup, and it just reminds me of me as a kid. And it's the coolest feeling.
It is, man. It is. It's really cool.
Going back now to the situation, TOS championship on the line. Teddy Goods goes one-on-one with the Underground King.
Yes.
Teddy Goods, Boston native, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Owner of Kojo's World.
Yep.
Veteran of the Northeast Indies for a very long time. Credible challenger to the SWB.
Yeah, probably. I think Teddy has the most amount of matches against Wagner than anyone else.
Really?
Yeah, these two
Really?
guys. This is not a new rivalry. These guys,
That right there.
yeah, they know each other very well. They have incredible chemistry. They've put on amazing events all over Massachusetts and New York. This is the first time ever in Connecticut. I don't think this match has ever happened in Connecticut. It hasn't happened in years. But I'm very excited about it. Wagner's another one of those guys that he has so much respect from his peers.
Yes.
He's been around such a long time, and his Rolodex is so deep. But he also doesn't work any matches that he doesn't want to work. Right?
He's allowed that.
Yeah. He's earned that. 25 years of bangers you get to do that. And for him to say, okay, I want to test myself against the best, and I want to put this belt up against Teddy, that's big, and it's one of those things that I had to jump at. I've been wanting to book this match since Test of Strength started. For whatever reason, it just hasn't happened. So it's one of those that I'm glad that I have. It's one of those bucket list matches that I've wanted to book. I got a list of those, man, and I've been chopping them away. Thank God, Ichiban versus Low Key. And they've been going. So I can't wait to see this, man. I think I feel bad for whoever follows that.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
You got Immortal Championship Wrestling match. Jordan Rowe, representing Jordan Rowe, excuse me, is the Lit Young Boy.
The LIT Young Boy, yes.
Who just recently made his debut
Yes.
against the last outlaw, Garrett Holiday.
Garrett Holiday is one of those talents that I talk about that is so special. A lot like Monteros. A lot of similarities there. And great intensity. Incredible ring awareness. Super smart in the ring. And, you know, he's got a big, beautiful 15-pound gold belt that he wants to put up. And it was supposed to be Ty Shine.
Yes.
That was supposed to get that match. But due to a scheduling conflict, Ty's not going to be able to make it. So he issued an open challenge, and the grappler Jordan Rowe accepted it on behalf of LIT Young Boy. So talk about throwing somebody into the fire.
Yeah.
Listen, Young Boy is incredibly athletic, very talented, hard-working kid.
Impressive.
But this is like throwing a steak into a pool full of piranhas.
Yeah. That's a good analogy.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
I honestly, I hope he survives, man.
I do too, because I was there for his debut against Baylor, and
another monster talent. That
Baylor
is such a huge upside.
Yeah. We'll talk about him later.
He's got that look, you know, that he is
Holding that look though,
I would not be surprised.
He's got that hunger.
Yeah, absolutely. He is very good for the short amount of time he's been in.
Like, because you can't, like, watching a Brad Baylor match, you wouldn't be able to necessarily tell that he's that hungry, and then you talk to him after, and you see it.
Mm-hmm.
You see it. He's like, I want everything. He's another one that's going to be big next year.
He's going to be a problem that people are going to have to contend with.
Mm-hmm. He's already started.
Yep, him, Ryan Clancy.
Yep.
You know, there's this. I mean, I could sit here and tell you about the.
He is that guy right there, Ryan Clancy. I'm a huge fan of his. That dude is just his style, man.
Amazing.
That old school style. Just
man, he comes from a good stock. You know, Lance Storm protege. The kid is he's a beast.
You said it, Lance Storm protege. That says everything.
The kid
the amount of respect.
You know, great look, great attitude. Yeah. And incredible in ring talent.
Yeah.
He's a throwback, so to say.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He reminds me a lot of Thomas Santel.
Yeah. Yeah.
From there, this is where Blood, Sweat, and Tears comes in. We got the paper chase, Patrick Saint versus the unhinged Lucas Chase for the BS championship.
And see, while I feel that we have a lot of wrestling matches on this card, this is not a wrestling match. This is a fight.
Yep.
It is a fight. These two guys are gonna beat the brakes off of each other.
It's a hot fight.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that. Lucas is known Lucas a long time, and to see his evolution is incredible. From where you know, him and Big Jim Anderson way back in the day to where he is now. Explosive, cerebral, mean, you know,
talker.
Promos are on point. You know, his body transformation is different. His associations in wrestling are so much smarter than they used to be. Yes. I think if it wasn't because Danny Miles got hurt, there was no taking the belts off of the Standard. You know,
that was a really good tag team.
Yeah, and I hope I get to see it again. I hope it gets to happen one more time because those two guys are special.
Yeah,
special talents.
Right.
And he, you know, ever since he beat Flash for that belt, man, he's been unstoppable. Been on
That was an incredible match. Yeah.
It was a great match. Great match.
Yeah.
Flash, I tell you what.
Yeah.
Flash was a hell of a champion.
Sure was.
Hell of a
Sure
champion.
was. Yep, absolutely.
The kid carried that flag and he represented every time.
Yeah, he did.
Much respect to Dustin. Big match, Dustin Flash Waller.
He's one of those guys where I will continuously pursue to add to my card even after it's almost impossible.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one of those guys who did so much work for the brand and the lineage of that title. That kid is.
Tell him to chill sometimes, man. Him and Kai, they want to go so balls to the wall every single time, and I respect it.
Yeah.
But it's like, fellas, you guys are babies still, you know. Like, just
I'm sometimes get scared for Flash.
Yes.
Watching him do certain things, I'm like, this is where he breaks his neck. You know what I mean? Where he's going for something.
Injury not too long ago, and I tell you what, looking at him before that injury and looking at him afterwards, there's a night and day difference. And I don't mean that he's lost the step. I don't mean that he's not the same performer. The opposite. I think he's a lot smarter now.
Yep.
I think he paces himself more. I think he considers his offense a lot. Like, he's more precise now than he used to be. He's not taking any of these crazy, unnecessary risks anymore.
Dude.
And he's putting on some size. I mean, if you see him, he's
getting big.
He's looking good. And he works his ass off, man. I love Flash. Flash is one of my favorite people in the world. That's my little brother forever.
You guys had a show with him like this last year.
Yeah.
And there was one bump that as I'm in the crowd, whatever, where we were shooting the shit literally like right before that. And he took a bump off the stage.
Yes.
And I remember going, oh shit, our champion's hurt. like my legitimate reaction was like, oh shit, he's done.
Yes.
And like, you know, talking about what you just said about him taking the risk and kind of now.
Me and Wagner yelled at him like there was no tomorrow.
What are you doing? But that just goes to like what he's willing to do to his body for the brand or the business. You know,
he loves the business, right? He loves the opportunity to perform. He loves the crowd, and he's just one of those guys that doesn't ever want us feel like he didn't give the people what they paid to see. You know, so when you buy a ticket to see a Flash Waller match, you're getting 100% Flash Waller, and I respect that. I really, really do. The only thing I ever told him was just to slow it down a little, you know, take care of his body a little more, just be a little smarter with it. And you know, it took him a while, you know, because you're young and you're hungry and you want to, but now he's starting to see what I mean, and he's taking that time that I'm telling him to take, and he's using it to process these opportunities better. He's being smarter about it, and he's putting on better work. So I feel like he's getting better and better as he gets older.
Absolutely.
And he gets more and more reps. And the same thing for Kylon. You know, those guys are great. And you know, I think one of the greatest things that Test the Strength has done for the business as a whole was make them a tag team.
Yeah.
You know, me and Wagner saw it right away. And it was like, these two kids, they got this crazy chemistry, they don't even realize it. So we kind of forced them to do a couple tag matches, and then it was like they saw it. They're like, oh, wait a minute. You know, and
we're pretty good together.
Yeah, and they took it and they ran with it, man. And they've taken it all across the United States, you know, trips to California, Tennessee, all over the place, man. And they're on
West
the road. Yeah. So
independent, they're not independent wrestling tag team champions for no reason.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the belt that stretches across
the company that they work for. They got belts for it. You know,
like
those are another set of guys with very heavy gear bags.
Yes.
Now moving along. Speaking of these two gentlemen, you got the TOS and Remarkable Tag Team Championship match. Fire and the Sky Money, Mark Alexander, and Ultraviolet Nolan Pierce take on Dustin Flash Waller and a Saiyan suplex machine, Kylon King.
Kylon King. And man, you talk about sparks flying. Like, dude, you're gonna think there's pyro in Nomads when this match starts, bro. These guys, it is balls to the wall. Like, it's gonna be so fast, so strong. Because there's a lot of duality in this match. You know, like it's the same amount of intensity with a slightly different style, right? Whereas both teams are hard hitting, quick strikers, you know, very athletic,
explosive.
You have a guy like Mark Alexander can change the complexion of that match because he'll ground you and he'll wrestle you. He'll mat wrestle you. Where then you have Nolan, who is so fast, so strong, so accurate with those strikes, you know, and so good at putting them together that it's almost like you're prepping for two different styles of wrestling in one team, you know. And then on the other hand, you have Flash, who is so fast, so smart, you know, willing to take any risk there is to get an advantage. But then you have Kylon, who can turn an entire match around with one move.
Yes.
You know?
One quick exploded suplex and that whole side is turning.
You know, I mean, and we've seen it a million times. You know, he's got this crazy pop-up German suplex that he does that it shouldn't even be humanly possible, and he does it.
And not only that, and to be a little funny here, he's added like a high flying like repertoire to his moveset.
Yes.
And now he's matching some of these high flyers.
Oh, he's flying better than a lot of them.
Don't tell him that.
He swears he's not a high flyer.
He's not a high flyer, but he's got the
not a high flyer.
And there's a reason. That's the reason. Like, he's one of my favorite professional wrestlers. Like, today, seriously, it's just there's something about Kylon that just gets me, and it's like I could picture him going to Japan and having a very successful run in like a juniors tournament. And I think I spoke to you about that before, Alex.
He definitely will. He's so fast. He reminds me of a young Austin Aries and how fast and explosive.
Yes.
Good comparison.
Good comparison, absolutely.
But he's got this power and this explosiveness that guys his size aren't supposed to have.
No.
You know, and then he's another one that's growing, getting bigger, stronger, and smarter, you know. And he's finally learning how to use that chip he has on his shoulder for motivation.
Right.
Time.
So it's really dangerous what the Miracle Gen could be.
Yeah.
But if there's a set of guys, I'm telling you, that can match their intensity, it's fire in the sky.
Yeah, absolutely. This is one that I think for me is the one I'm looking forward to the most outside of the obvious BSC title match is the Battle of the Aces, the Pro Wrestling Grind Grand Championship. Top 5, dead or alive, Sammy Diaz against the Moonlight Sun, Mike Skyler.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be insane, man. That's gonna be insane. Like we never got to see Shawn Michaels versus Eddie Guerrero. But we got Mike Skyros and Sammy Diaz.
Yeah.
You know, and that's gotta be like this generation's equivalent.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
They're so good. So ridiculously good. And they work well together. You know, we've seen them wrestle each other before and have bangers, you know, and in variations of this match, we've seen them. I mean, Skyros, Sammy, and Marcos had an amazing match for the Test of Strength title.
Yep.
So to see guys of this caliber, like, dude, I'm so excited about this show, man. It's
we all are.
Yeah,
like
it's personal WrestleMania.
I've talked to a few people. Like we were actually at the CPW show last Friday, and I was talking to a few people. I'm like, "Are you gonna be there?" Because I'm sure as hell gonna be there. Oh, we're gonna have a good old time. You know, like it's one of those, like, it sets off my weekend because that week I have a concert like the Sunday before, then we have Fight Life on Wednesday, Milldale.
Yep.
Which are you gonna be there as well?
I'll be there.
So we'll see each other there, and then Friday is that.
I'm hoping to design the next championship for Fight. Like,
can't wait to see that,
man.
Can't wait to see that. And they have a banger card, but we'll get to that on another day.
No, cool shows.
Yeah, and so up next you have the Step Ladder Warfare, and it's gonna be Ryan Frost and TJ Howell III Cold Cash against Jay Bricks and Richard Stone Esquire, the Hustle and the Muscle. Two of my favorite people as of late. I've had a lot of fun conversations with them lately.
And that's a banger match already.
Yeah. Yes. Against Wade Kruger and Radley Belmont, the Stepdads. Underrated tag team in this East Coast.
Those two guys, man, they're so
and they're hilarious.
Yeah.
Against Barnaby Booms and Aaron
Cadania,
the hard work
heroes. Yes. So yeah, they're up and coming tag team out of the Bell Time Club out of Boston, and they're coming, man. You know, they say that they can match, you know, speed and power with the hustle and the muscle, and they're colder than Cold Cash, you know, so they're ready for it.
All right.
So yeah, step ladder warfare. Step ladders are the only legal weapon, and they will be used to beat and bloodify each other.
All right, so I'm gonna ask, how did this become a step ladder war?
Well, here's the thing. Cold Cash and the Stepdads had one of the most prominent stories in Test of Strength. They were very instrumental in each other being tag teams, right?
Okay.
So they go back, and the first ever and only step ladder match that has ever been booked happened at Test of Strength. It happened at Undeniable, and that was the night that TJ Howell III turned on Ryan Frost. And
that backstory.
So it's kind of this whole thing where the Stepdads are like, Frosty, how are you teaming up with this guy?
Yeah.
You know, when you know that he's already turned on your door. But I mean, that was a long time ago, and it's water under the bridge, and you know, TJ's done some growing and came out to save Frosty when he needed it. You know, when everybody else left him for dead. So there's respect there, you know, and they want to prove it. And they're like, you know what? How do we show the world that we are on the same page, that we are Cold Cash, that we are a tag team, and that we are going to be the best tag team in this game? Well, let's confront our demons. So let's make it step ladder warfare, you know? And that's where it came from.
Full circle.
Yeah, full circle. Great full circle.
Awesome. Singles match here. One of my favorite people ever, Hippie Dicky Moon, against the
incongruous.
There he is. I'm not going to be word. The incongruous Red Sawyer.
Incongruous Red Sawyer, yes.
And we talked about Red Sawyer earlier. That dude is going to be somebody on everybody's radar next year.
Yeah.
Dicky Moon is a legend out here. To date myself on how long I've been watching indies as a general, I remember him from the PWA days,
right,
and the Von Smith days, and like to see him still going at the level he's going, is pretty incredible.
Yeah, no, Dicky is amazing, and he was a great pickup for us at Test of Strength. He became part of our dojo, and quickly ascended to the top of the card, and you know, he's one of our trainers. Incredible talent. Incredible human being. I had the pleasure of being the minister at his wedding earlier this year.
Wow.
Yeah. Amazing young man. I can sit here and tell you who my favorite wrestlers of all time are, and we can argue about that and debate it all we want. Hippie Dickie Moon is one of my favorite people in the world. He's one of the best men I've ever met, and I love and respect him dearly. So to see for him to want to step up and celebrate, you know, for me, to put on for me and put on a performance in honor of me is a blessing, man. It's a blessing, and it's beautiful, and it means a lot. And to see him and a hero of his magnitude go up against a true super villain, in Red Sawyer, I think it's going to be an amazing story. I think it's going to be an ultra competitive wrestling match. Hippie can fly around. Hippie can mat wrestle. Hippie can do it all. And the only thing is, I can't see Dickie crossing a certain line, whereas Red has no clue that there's a line to be crossed.
It's very night and day.
Yes.
Dickie is peace and love.
This is Drago. You know what I mean? Like, complete sides of the coin. Like,
It's
just complete opposite sides.
It's peace and love versus violence and chaos.
Yes.
It's literally it's just like Two-Face ripped himself in half and fought himself.
Right.
You know, and that's going to be one to keep your eye on.
That's going to be a great match. They're very similar in size. The experience is the number one thing, or Hippie had this experience, but Red is just so. And here's the thing: people think Red Sawyer is just crazy, and while that might be true, he's not necessarily wrong either. Like, he's a very intelligent person. You know, if you can slow down those 1,000,000-mile-an-hour thoughts that he has, there's a lot of cohesion and intelligence there. I just think that he gets overwhelmed by all of the things that he's processing at the same time, and it becomes this rage and this despair. And he goes into, I don't know if it's Darwinism that takes over, but he goes into this fight or flight mode.
Spirals.
Yeah. And I don't know, man. He's a great performer.
Yeah.
He scares the living hell out of me. But I think that I think that he's one of those guys that we're going to talk about 10, 15 years from now.
Absolutely.
And talk about how great of a character and performer he is.
And the last match, which I'm glad we spoke earlier about this young man, because I'm finally going to get to see him live, and it's the sexy Jesus, Hammer Tunis, versus hard-hitting Bobby Oceans versus world-class Channing Thomas.
Yes. And it was supposed to be one-on-one, Hammer Tunis versus Bobby Ocean. Two guys that know each other extremely well. Came into the scene around the same time, had classic matches all over the Northeast. But Channing Thomas is a protege of the Bell Time Club. He is one of the best independent wrestlers on the planet. You know, depending on what night it is, he is the best wrestler on the planet. He's that good. And when he said that he was available and that he wanted to come and, you know, perform for me, I looked up and down this card and I said, well, number one, what's a match that no one has ever seen before? And number two, what clash in styles is going to be the most interesting? And I feel like in the mix of those two generals, why not? Right? I think it's the first time that a triple threat match has ever been booked where all three guys are that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
All three generals.
yes, you know, Hammer Tunis is the king of Pioneer Valley.
Mm-hmm.
You can't deny that. There's no one on his level there. That's who he is.
That's his area.
That's his throne, and he sits on it.
Yep.
You know, and Bobby Ocean is the first ever Test of Strength champion. You know, a staple. He is the Undertaker in my locker room. You know, Bobby Ocean is him.
Yeah.
He's that guy. And then you have world-class Channing Thomas, who is the ace of every locker room he's ever been in. He is, you know, everybody's playing checkers and he's on his third game of chess. He is that good. He is amazing. And I can't wait to see the magic that these three come up with, honestly. I think that it's match of the night. I think it's going to be a great candidate for match of the year. And I think it's going to be one of those. I think it's going to be one of those matches that we never forget. I'm very, very happy that I was able to put that together.
Top to bottom, this competes with any big time card that any independent or even major company is putting together.
I believe so. I don't think there's been a card on any show this year that can touch this card.
Dude, this is an all-star game.
Yeah, it is.
This is legitimately an all-star game.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of cool stuff on here that you won't necessarily see anywhere else.
And you know what's crazy is that it was gonna be crazier.
Jesus Christ.
It was gonna be crazier. Certain things just didn't work out.
Nature of the business.
Low-key was gonna be in the building, but he has to go to New Zealand to wrestle Minoru Suzuki.
Yo, that I saw that and I was like, holy shit.
I'm not upset at him about that at all. You know, he said he'll make it up to me. I said, whenever you want, brother, don't worry about it. I wanted Big Bacon Brad Hollister on the card. I wanted to book him versus Danny Miles. The boys in Chaotic had the same idea for the same night. So I hope they tear it up over there. I hope they have a banger. Shout out to Chaotic. I wish you guys weren't running so you could have been a part of this show as well. But I hope you guys sell out. You know, that's a great match, and I can't wait to run home and watch it.
A lot of good independents, especially in the Northeast area. I've spoken with Rick, about how good a lot of these companies are, and a lot of these companies are catching fire. You guys are on top of that list. You know, like you guys are hitting on a different level. You know,
I like the fact that we opened up the Northeast for a lot of people. There's a lot of guys that are on now and getting looks now that were introduced to the territory through our training days. Right? And to see these guys move on to bigger and better things is amazing.
Training days are key.
The training day is great. It was an amazing concept that only really came about because Wagner Brown is who he is, and he has the respect of his peers in the business. But we were going to take our students and bring in seasoned vets from all over, so that they could work with them and learn through them. It was called Training Day, and then we would also give other schools an opportunity to send their students out to get reps, showcase them and grow from there. And and it turned into what it is now. We still run the training days every month that we run the road event, and those training days get you the spots on our bigger cards. And through those training days, other promoters, you being one of them, have found a lot of talent to build around, to use, to showcase, and it's beautiful, man. I think that's what for Wagner and I, because we have a wrestling school, that's the biggest joy for us, is to introduce the business to the talent.
Absolutely. Like, and you said it, we've used a lot of talent that have come through your training days and through your dojo Ichiban. We've used Jordan Rowe, Mark Alexander, Ryan Frost, Bobby Oceans.
Yeah, but not just our students. I mean,
No.
guys like Mantequilla, guys like Cole, guys like, I mean, I could sit here and Christian Casanova, guys, NXT, like all these guys that came, through our doors have gone on to bigger and better things, and that's beautiful, man. That's what we want.
And I think that's where me and you get along the most. It's like we have the same end goal when it comes to a lot of these talent. We want them to grow. We want them to go to the main stages and MLWs, AEWs, WWEs, you name it. We want them there.
I remember Matthias used to come to all of our shows, man, and have bangers. Him and Ty Shine had incredible chemistry. Those guys were so good together.
Man, Matthias was doing a lot of like tag team work towards the end of his run with TOS, and that's another guy. Man,
love Matthias. One of the best people I've ever met, and in the ring talent. Shout outs to him.
I hope he listens to this so he can see that we all still love him.
Oh man, forever. Matthias, man. I love that kid. Take a bullet for him.
Your card is amazing. Your ref choices are solid as hell. You got a sick lineup for referees. Some of my favorites, especially Gina and Bill. Matt the Court, that big MC. This is gonna be a wild, fun night.
It is. It's gonna be.
I'm coming to your show to have a blast.
Dan the Man on commentary. It's gonna be a fun night.
Dan's gonna be on commentary.
Dan the Man's gonna color commentator for the evening.
Sheesh.
So my question is, this is going to be streamed somewhere, or is it going to be uploaded to your YouTube after? Right?
I'm working out the deal, the terms of the stream. I'm trying to do a live stream that night. Just trying to find the right partner to go with it. If not, it will be uploaded soon. It is being recorded by GoPro Wrestling. So we should be good.
GoPro has a lot of good credentials. They do a lot of good work.
Yes, they do.
Absolutely.
Guys, tickets are already on sale. Let me start off with that. Tickets are $15 online. They're $25 at the door. I implore you, come out. Front row is only $20 online.
Right.
Only $20. You get there to the door, it's gonna be $30. Pay that $20 now, and you're like, then there's the VIP package, goes a signed poster, t-shirt, front row seat, and photo after all the rest of the whole bang for your buck.
Yeah.
Show up to this show. It is going to be phenomenal.
There's a lot of hitters on this card.
Yes.
Hitters on this card.
This is an all-star game at its finest.
Yeah, no, this is a serious event.
Yes.
And, there's something for everybody.
Yes.
And the future of pro wrestling is there being showcased. And you should be there. And 5 years from now, when Ichiban is wrestling at Madison Square Garden, when Channing Thomas is in the Tokyo Dome, beating Okada for the IWGP title for the third time, wow, I saw these guys at Nomads.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you guys got to be there and come support, man, and come enjoy it. It is a cancer benefit for me, and that means a lot. I'm so grateful for that, but I just love the fact that it's such a big stage for all of my friends and family to perform at. I say it all the time. The day that I'm no longer here, I want you guys to cheer and boo and jeer and cry and clap for these kids, because they're what I do it for. You know what I mean? I go through all of this craziness because I want to see NBA. I want to see TOS Youngboy sign a Pro Wrestling Noah deal one day. I want to see Sammy Diaz wrestle Rocky Romero at CMLL. You know, I want to see these crazy things, and even more so, you know, Lord willing, one day I want to book, you know, Grayson Moon versus Lincoln Brown for the K1 Classic Championship. You know, like these are goals that I want to have, and I hope that you guys get to see it come to fruition, because these young men and women are extraordinary. You know, I say it, and everybody thinks I'm joking around when I say it. I want to wrap that TOS championship, women's championship belt around Cece's waist one day.
Yeah.
You know, like I want to see that. And
Can't wait. That little girl.
Yeah.
Little girl's a problem.
Yeah, my niece is a star. I can't
She's
wait.
She's gonna be.
And she is so great, man. She has the most amazing heart in the world. She's such a strong fighter herself, man. And I respect her immensely. So I can't wait to see all the amazing things that she's gonna accomplish. And I'll be cheering, man. I'll be cheering. Wherever I'm at, I'm screaming and I'm clapping and I'm shouting and I'm wearing my CC merch.
Bro, if you're number one, if you're CC fan number one, I'm like 1B, maybe 2. Like that girl's incredible. I've seen some of the training stuff that she's done up there, and
she's so good, man. She's such a natural.
Yeah, it's incredible, especially at that age.
Yeah. So once once she's ready, bro, you know, taking her under her wing, you know, it's gonna be.
That's a great teacher.
Yeah. She's definitely not gonna be one to be messed with.
No,
so that's gonna be fun, man.
Rick, got anything you want to add?
No, I want to say, yes, I do want to add something. I want everybody to go drop down into the link, go on to our Facebook page where you can find the link. I want everybody to click the link. I want everybody to donate. I want everybody to buy a ticket. I want everybody to attend. And Alex, I'm so sorry I can't be there. However, if you do stream this live, you better believe I'll be watching on my phone at the the reception.
We'll make it happen. We'll make it happen. And if for whatever reason I can't get it to stream live, that just means we got to plan a watch party. You know.
There we go.
Let's figure it out.
I'm more than down for that.
I am down for that.
Cool.
Alex, I want to thank you for coming in and giving us 2 hours of your day. Especially this late.
This is a pleasure. I wish that we did this more often. I appreciate you. And you've always helped out and had my back. It means a lot, Rick. You know, even when we did the benefit show for Big Jim Anderson, you were very helpful with that too. You know, you guys both stepped up, and I don't know if I've thanked you enough or properly for that, but it's something that I keep here with me every day. So I love y'all for that. Thank you.
It's professional wrestling's greatest, largest, privately owned wrestling library. All the classic hits, flips, slams, and pins of yesteryear are on one place. It's Ultimate Classic Wrestling. Check out the Nature Boy Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, Mr. USA Tony Atlas, Tito Santana, Rick Martel, a who's who of professional wrestling's greatest spotlight stars ever to grace the squared circle, all in one place. Grab the best seat in the house for memories and mayhem on Ultimate Classic Wrestling.